to all. I welcome to G100 Global Networking and our series in conversation, friendly conversation within experts to learn, connect, and exchange. Today, our series on sustainability and a very specific, crucial topic that is Sustainable Cities SDG 11. We came to this SDGs, and today we try to gather what we think are the 4 topics most important. That is business, education, technology and innovation, and politics. So we are going to go through that. Before, I would like just to say, G100 Global Networking do not have a goal on organizing events. Our goal is to connect, to make networking, but to do it, we realize that we need this kind of event that successfully we have done it during 2023. It's also important, we realize that it's a way to show others who we are. And also, we wanted to leave a message of empowerment from the civil society that we are, out from any kind of commitment from institution or from government, just citizens talking and being together. So with me today, I'm so delighted to have 3 of my friends, because after all this time, we are friends. That is Jitendra Isbaristava. He's Human Resources Senior Consultant. He will talk about business and how we could be sustainable from a particular view that is from India. Also, Jitendra is generously our global advisor for G100 Global Networking, and we are very grateful for that. And he will give us his take on this topic right now. Just also, I would like to welcome Anita Shukla, our national chair for Germany, also senior consultant, founder and CEO of European Union India Training Consultant. And she's a committed woman, passionate about these topics on tech and innovation. And I'm sure she will give us a very important aspect of this crucial topic. Also, we have Dr. Padma Priya. Padma Priya is an associate professor for Andhra University, as well as founder of BOS. She is country advisor for India for G100 Global Networking. Welcome, Pradma, with your topic on education that is so important. I will address it from what is politics, what is citizen, and the role of the civil society. Before we start, just very briefly, please, a short reminder, and I will read it. From a study of the World Bank, over 1 billion people live in urban slums today, and 1.5 billion people live in countries affected by repeated cycles of environmental and social violence, in addition to natural disasters. So this is something that is really an emergency. It's something that we need to raise awareness. This is what we could do from the civil society. So we cannot move further in terms of implementation, but we could do it on what is raising awareness. Is that what you are doing right now? So please, Jitendra, the floor is yours. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste, Mar, Anita, Padma, and thank you, Mar, once again for bringing me here.
Namaste, Ji.
So I have done some research on the sustainable cities, and I will just share all that I have. As we all know, cities contribute significantly to economic growth, accounting for over 80% of the global GDP. However, they also produce more than 70% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Goal 11 of the United Nations SDG revolves around making cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. As the global population continues to grow, there is a pressing need to construct modern and sustainable cities that can accommodate everyone. On October 23, 2023, the municipality of Üsküdar in Istanbul, Turkey, hosted World Cities Day under the theme Financing Sustainable urban future for all. Over 1,000 participants representing 221 countries had registered for the event in person and online, according to the UN Human Settlements Program, that is UN Habitat. In the remarks on the day, UN Habitat Executive Director Maimuna Muhammad Sharif said that progress towards achieving sustainable and just development and the 17 SDGs had stalled. Half of the world is now urban. There is no stopping this mega trend by, by adapting our cities and finding in them the resources and talent we need. We can upscale the solutions we need to ensure no place is left behind, she said. Marking World Cities Day, the UN Secretary General emphasized the vital role cities play in sustainable development as catalysts for economic growth and innovations. World Cities Day is a time to consider the pivotal role cities play in sustainable development, said Antonio Guterres, setting the stage for a global call to action. Cities are not only engines of economic growth, but are also at the forefront of the world's most pressing challenges, from the climate crisis to widening social inequalities and political polarization. Cities find themselves grappling with a multitude of complex issues. Cities, towns, and the surrounding areas act as powerful magnets for innovation, culture, and opportunities, alluring both talent and investment. Today, urban living has already been embraced by more than half of the world's population, and UN Habitat projections indicate that nearly 70% of people will live in cities by 2050. While cities generate more than 80% of the global GDP, create powerful networks of entrepreneurship and business growth, and give ample opportunities for talent development, they can also turn into inequality trap with overcrowding, pollution, poor infrastructure, and social injustice. Approximately 1.1 billion people live in slums and informal settlements in urban areas, which entrenches poverty and limits opportunities. Veerle Kausi, partner at KPMG Tax, Legal and Accountancy, rightly says when we talk about sustainable cities, we are not just talking about climate and environmental challenges, policy making on the journey to net zero. It is much broader. It is also about the social aspect and how different stakeholders find one another in an urban setting. It is finding a new way of living, working, producing, and consuming, and translating this into a more integrated but sustainable urban planning. According to her, one of the most important tools in achieving sustainable cities is urban planning. What are cities doing with respect to their infrastructure? Over the last couple of years, we have seen many local governments in Europe make huge investments not only in infrastructure for electric cars in preparation for the European Union's 2035 ban on the sale of new CO2 emitting cars, but also in alternate mobility solutions. Here are some of the innovative ways cities are rising to the challenge. Number one is sponge cities. I don't know why they call it sponge, but scientists think global warming is increasing the likelihood of extreme weather conditions, including floods. But some cities are fighting back, using the power of nature to mitigate the risks. In China, concrete neighborhoods are being interlaced with green spaces that can naturally detain and filter water. The same concept is employed in Singapore, which has been dubbed the Garden City due to its abundance of greenery. Number two is vertical forests. Short on space, people in cities have often looked upwards for places to expand In Milan, Italy, architects have done the same with tree cover, creating a vertical forest on two residential tower blocks, boasting 800 trees, 4,500 shrubs, and 15,000 plants. The forest would cover an area the size of 3.5 football pitches if planted on the ground. Similar projects are underway in cities in Switzerland, the Netherlands, and China. The third one, the third innovative way is the 20-minute neighborhood. Imagine if everything you needed for a happy, healthy life could be found within a 20-minute public transport trip, bike ride, or walk from home. Some cities are working to make this a reality, with Melbourne leading the way. It wants residents to always be within easy reach of things like shops, business services, education, or leisure facilities. The fourth is and anything they can do. This is known as at and anything they can do. In Paris, the mayor is using the Rue de Rivoli as a prototype for a future metropolis in which the Parisian should need to travel more than 15 minutes on foot or by bike to work, shop, or deal with a government agency. The fifth is miniature urban forests. Miniature forests are springing up on patches of land in urban areas around the world using a method inspired by Japanese temples. A botanist found that protected areas around the temples, shrines, and cemeteries contained a huge variety of native vegetation that coexisted to produce resilient and diverse ecosystems. The tiny forests are viewed as having potential to help combat climate change. The sixth initiative is the Green Train Track. Regeneration projects are also at the forefront of sustainable city initiatives, and they are certainly on the right track in Bangkok, where the shortage of green spaces has come under scrutiny. Now, an old elevated railway line has been turned into a city park. It may not be large, but it has outsized importance as a catalyst for urban regeneration and can change the way people look at public spaces, said one of the project's consultants. The last is smarter commuting. In Israel, a new app could hold the key to creating faster, cleaner, and more convenient commutes. Users enter their location and destination, and an algorithm calculates the most efficient journey. Public transport is then rerouted accordingly. The system was introduced to help fight COVID 19, but if implemented permanently, it's thought it could save $25 million a year. So far as India is concerned, urbanization will be the biggest driver of India's growth story. India needs to create cities that are planned, financed, developed, operated, and managed more efficiently. India envisions creating sustainable cities of tomorrow, and to translate this, states and cities will be encouraged to undertake urban planning reforms and actions to transform our cities into sustainable cities of tomorrow. This means efficient use of land, resources, adequate resources for urban infrastructure, transit oriented development, enhanced availability and affordability of urban land, and opportunities for all. To further improve the urban sanitation, all cities and towns will be enabled for 100% mechanical desludging of septic tanks and sewers to transition from manhole to machine hole mode. Enhanced focus will be provided for a scientific management of dry and wet waste. India's future is aligned with creating inclusive, self reliant, and sustainable Indian cities. To sum up, we require innovative urban planning that prioritizes safety, affordability, and resilience, while also creating culturally stimulating and environmentally friendly living environments in order to ensure the survival and prosperity of all. With proper planning and management, urban development can lead to sustainable and prosperous futures for all. Collaborations, open dialogue, and shared investment and risk will be key. Ultimately, we must work together to find an integrated solution if we want to meet global targets and build sustainable cities. Thank you.
Wow, Jitendra, always is a pleasure learning to hear from you, and with all this preparation that you do so well, and also from your experience and for as an expert, but also living in India. Also, I think it will happen with Dr. Pradma. Is on the list of the 10 most polluted cities in the world. Is one the first one is Pakistan, Lahore. The second is one city in China, and the rest, like two or three, are part of India. So we need to listen to the people that live in that situation. I would like, before we start with Pradma and her side on education, I would like to highlight that some 56% of the world population, that is 40.4 billion of inhabitants, live in cities. And it's a trend that is expected by 2050 to doubling. So I think we have more than reasons to give a very special place to how we could become sustainable in the, I would say, in the short term. Pradma, are you ready? Yes. Yes. The floor is
Hello,
yours.
yeah, thank you. Hello, DMR, Anita, and Jitendra. Good evening and namaste from India. Thank you, Mar, for giving me this uh, opportunity and inviting me to this session, which gives me immense pleasure to be a part of it. Mar, this global platform, the Sustainability Talks series, would certainly serve to forge innovative thoughts and to foster global collaborations. So, really, this is a wonderful talk series. As we know, resilience is the most important factor in attaining sustainability. Sustainable cities and communities have to be resilient to changes on various life fronts, including climate changes. They have to withstand the natural calamities. Whatever measures we take should be in that direction. When it comes to communities, they should be governed by the principles of inclusiveness. SDG 11 aims to cater to the needs of the population in and around the cities. It aims for equal opportunities for all, including the poor and the marginalized sections of the society, with the basic amenities like, food, healthcare, employment opportunities, education, public transportation, and so many others. So, this means equal opportunities without any discrimination to any community or any society, or for that matter, any nation. When we talk about this discrimination of communities and vulnerability of communities, I would like to quote about the African continent. This was a survey done by some Swedish daily newspaper, and for a long time, I've been very much upset about this. See, for example, some of the famous textile brands are dumping millions of tons of used clothing and textile waste to sell in the second hand market, are to be dumped in landfills every year in the Africa. or African continent. A recent investigation by a Swedish daily has shown that fast fashion brands are shipping millions of tons of garments to African countries where they're often dumped or burned. Africa is the most vulnerable to this growing crisis of textile waste, ultimately polluting the environment, posing health risks, and contributing to the climate crisis. What I mean to say is every country, society, community has the equal right, equal justice. Then why should we discriminate? Why should the people of those communities suffer? They are also part of this planet Earth, right? So, the unprecedented growth rate in all sectors is most welcoming. Really, we must welcome this growth rate. But on the flip side, one should not forget that it has been posing serious threats and environmental challenges. Basically, every human community wants solutions to the eradication of poverty and social inequalities, social exclusion, and disaster management. Shared growth and prosperity should be the new buzzwords in the present scenario. I strongly believe this shared prosperity and shared growth. These should be the buzzwords. The sustainable development of smart cities in India is a multifaceted endeavor that requires thoughtful integration of technology, the environment, and society. I would like to dwell upon some of the measures taken by the Government of India towards the attainment of sustainability and the SDG level. The rapid urbanization in India sorry, necessitates a paradigm shift towards sustainable development, particularly in the context of smart cities. Smart cities influence technology to enhance the quality of life for residents while minimizing the environmental impact. To achieve this mission, India has been following a holistic approach encompassing energy efficiency, waste management, transportation, and social inclusivity. Some of the measures that are being implemented in India are Smart Cities Mission. So, launched by the Government of India in 2015, the Smart Cities Mission aims to develop 100 smart cities with an emphasis on technology, infrastructure, and sustainability. Projects under this mission include the development of smart transportation, waste management systems, and efficient buildings. Green building certifications. India has been following this one also. Some ICBC and Lead India promote the construction of environmentally friendly and energy efficient buildings. The other measure is National Urban Livelihood Mission, NULM, focuses on reducing poverty and vulnerability in urban areas by enabling sustainable livelihood opportunities. It includes skill development programs and support for self employment. And we all know, the entire world knows that Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which was taken by the present government, initiated on the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi in 2019, aiming to achieve a clean India and an open defecation free India and proper waste management. Clean and well maintained cities contributed to the overall sustainability. Here, I would like to mention an advertisement in India created by HUL, Hindustan Unilever Limited. The ad features a young boy uh, seated in a dustbin. He doesn't move even after repeated requests from the family members and the neighbors. The act garners the attention of the onlookers and also gets the media coverage. Finally, the boy's granny is called to convince him to speak up. When asked, he tells his granny that even after several attempts to get his parents to separate wet and dry garbage, they wouldn't do it. He goes on to say that if this continues, his future will be trash too. The ashamed parents then start to segregate the wet and dry garbage while the boy gets interviewed by the media. This is a wonderful advertisement to bring some awareness of segregating the wet and dry garbage and also create net zero wastage. This ad is about empowering communities to reach the goal of Swachhata and zero waste circular economy. Children are the strongest advocates of change in the society. Then comes Atal Mission for Rejuvenation of Urban Development or Transformation. Launched in 2015, the mission aims to ensure basic infrastructure services, including water supply, sewerage, and transportation. And then National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, NMSA. It addresses the sustainability in urban and peri-urban agriculture, encouraging practices that conserve resources and promote efficient land usage. As Jitendra also mentioned, we have to use the maximum, we have to maximum utilize the available land. And then comes renewable energy initiatives and also green urban mobility. Some cities have introduced initiatives to promote green transportation, including the development of cycling infrastructure, pedestrian friendly zones, and implementation of electric buses. Then comes rainwater harvesting. All these measures are being taken in India almost around from 2014-15 onwards. Many states and cities in India have implemented rainwater harvesting to recharge groundwater levels and address water scarcity issues. Climate resilient cities, the next one. So, initiative to enhance the resilience of cities to climate change impacts, including development of climate action plans, implementing sustainable urban transport, and creating green spaces. And finally, National Clean Air Program, which is very important one, NCAP, aims to address air quality issues in urban areas, particularly in metros like Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, etc., focusing on reducing air pollution through a combination of regularity measures, technology interventions, and public awareness. So these are some of the major uh, initiatives taken by the government of India. And to sum up, uh, as India continues its journey towards urbanization, adopting these sustainable practices becomes imperative for building smart cities that stand as beacons of innovation, efficiency, and environmental stewardship. Through strategic planning, collaborative efforts, and commitment to sustainability, smart cities can serve as role models for urban development, setting the stage for brighter and more sustainable future. With that's all. Thank you. Thank you, Mar.
Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation, for this wonderful information, this research that you have done. You are always bring this academic solid knowledge that we always need. And thank you for appreciate that they invite you. But it's not me who made this. You know, we are Achieve 100 Global Networking, and the key point is the balance that we have in collaboration. So is what we all of us contribute. So thank you so much for being
Thank
there,
you.
to have the knowledge, the wisdom, and the goodwill to be with us. And even if you have present an academic and a research of what they are doing from this aspect of sustainability and education, even that you refer to government measure. So you see how important is what this axis that represents politics. And that's why I enter with my ideas on what means this political analysis, how important it is to take into account. And you can imagine this holistic way to present different topics, how I always fit with my political analysis, because all the process are through politics. So just to start very briefly, there are 4 SDGs that I think they have to be connected particularly, as a difference from other SDGs that may be considered quite not isolated, but in coordination. This one, I think that one cannot live without the other one. That is education, as we mentioned with Pradma, strategic partnerships, strong institutions, and cities. I think that Jitendra also mentioned many of these aspects, as well as Pradma, the importance that we combine and we make this combination where many elements go through the political side. And we need to look through a new lenses. We need a new way to measure this challenge. And we have, for that, we need to overcome what is for me an inconvenient mix. That is no responsive institution. I am quite critical on that. I think we could do it better. We could do it faster. And it's because they are not responsive enough. We have citizens that are inactive. It's a democracy. So we cannot get rid of the responsibility, what means for the citizens. We rely too much on the initiative from the government when there is also a matter of the citizen. The decision-making process to make cities sustainable is politicized. So if they don't get a political profit, this political partisan profit that is so negative, but if they don't get it, it's very difficult that we achieve this goal. There are always biased private interests that they will be focused on what is green energy, because there are interests, financial interests on a specific industry, but not in other. This balance make us insustainable, not sustainable the process, and not sustainable in the goal in itself. And I always highlight this aspect, and I don't mind to repeat myself in many presentations. SDGs is an agreement among nations. We don't have to forget that. When we put the nations before the citizens, we are failing. It's a guarantee of failing. So we have to mix these green pieces of this urban puzzle that I call it, this urban challenge. And also Jitendra and Pradma have raised this, the architecture, infrastructure, clean energies, daily habits, public policies, and investment. You see private, public, citizens all together. However, when we are addressing what is sustainability in cities, we refer to the three first: architecture, infrastructure, and clean energy. And we sometimes forget the rest, or we don't make it really coordinated with the first 3 points. So we have here not a confrontation, but really a different approach. What is government and what is citizens? Most of the presentation I'm focused on what is the government, the way they address the government. And we have macro projects. The governments also tend to have macro projects, also because politically it's good to have macro projects. So what we could expect from that in citizens? Well, citizens have only micro projects. small projects that could create a very local impact and not on the extent that is needed. Governments are trying to change our habits, are leading the change, but it's the governments that have to lead the change. They are really adapted to what the needs of the citizens, because in the end, the citizens, when they change the habit into green, they do it, or because they have a very strong goodwill, sense of responsibility to their environment and their societies, or just because they wanted to avoid sanctions. And then we have SDGs that government take it as a top-down initiatives, which is good. But if we don't have a parallel scenario where the SDGs are led by the citizens in a bottom-up initiatives, we are not going. I strongly believe that we are not going to match this balance between governments and citizens. The axis for governments is always politics, and the citizen is just about needs. And we see it with the pandemics, and we see it with the financial crisis. We see they are focused on the real needs, not on there is one political partisan or not. They don't trust on that. We have losing trust on that, and we are more on results driven action. Partnerships for governments are only focused on public-private, and there are only few initiatives. And this is something that maybe there's exceptions in different countries. In general, we could find that this is the rule. And citizens don't have partnerships. The reality is that they have it individually. They make actions, and they have certain impact, but there's not really a merge with the government. So in terms of conclusion, I think this is a matter of culture. We have to change the culture in many aspects, but in this one, it's very important, and it's very complex. It's a multidimensional political process on citizens and governments and the private sector. So we haven't consolidated yet, because I am really hopeful for this, but we haven't consolidated yet what is a joint leadership, a joint action, government, citizens, all together finding the solution. New and innovative strategic partnerships. We need to move beyond the public-private concepts. And this is something that is leading the speech on public-private, but not on an innovative way, creative, different from what we have done before. And there are initiatives, very small, that they really go beyond what we have get used to. And an inclusive top-down, bottom-up initiative, just to accept all proposals. That's all in. Education is key on these daily habits that I mentioned before, and to become citizens, real influencers. And this is another topic that I insist on that point in different areas of, don't have to be sustainability, but in different areas on gender equality, on sustainability, on violence, on with many topics that we address in G100 Global Networking. This is so important. Initiative from the civil society that try to influence what is the government and not the other way around. So, and finally, this maybe could be controversial, so I am open to the debate, and you're very welcome to have a say on that. I think we have to be focused on what is national, sustainable cities, not global. We are going from global because the goals are global and trying to insert it in the national level, and it's not working. So if we do it the other way around, the SDGs are framework, but we go national. And if it doesn't match exactly what other cities are doing, it doesn't matter if it works, because of the culture, because of the reality, because of climate change, as Jitendra mentioned before. It's also make a different reality and a different forecast in the short term for the cities. So from my side, thank you so much for all your support of all of you, for G100 Global Networking, for your wisdom. And now I pass the floor to Anita, that I am so looking forward for your presentation. Before if you are happy with, you wanted to make a comment in relation to what is national to global or global to national, you're very welcome. Thank you so much. There is a baby on there, no? This. Okay, it's Jitendra. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you
Anita?
very much, Irma.
It's a pleasure.
Welcome from my side. Good afternoon from Germany. Herzlich willkommen. Schönen guten Tag. Yeah. So, great. Lot of input. Yeah. So with all of this input, global scale, business, education and politics, and a lot also being talked on India. Yeah. So I will now talk a little bit on one country in Europe, namely Germany, where I live and I work. With all of the information from these different regions, maybe one could think also of the potentials of the EU-India partnership. The strategic partnership we talked about in previous sessions, and the EU-India partnership on smart and sustainable urbanization also, so that cities to cities collaborate. So point number 17 also. So much potential for interaction and collaboration. So I'm giving an overview on sustainable cities in Germany, also smart cities, and the role of AI and digitalization. It's something like giving an update and some additional information to the input from the last session on sustainable cities. Yeah, so Anita Shukla, India EU Training and Consulting, and happy to also represent G100 Global Networking as chair for Germany. And so some information and updates on the topic in Germany. So the most sustainable cities in Germany this year, there's a little shift this time. So from Wolfsburg, the car city in Germany, having point number 1, yeah, it's now the wonderful city of Heidelberg in southwest Germany, having the title of Germany's most sustainable city, yeah, followed by the cities of Ingolstadt, Wolfsburg, Erlangen, and Ulm. Beside Wolfsburg, they're all in the south of Germany. So Heidelberg can really be proud of achievements in science, technology, education, academia, research. It's also a very beautiful city and a tourist magnet in Germany. Yes. So these sustainability assessments, sustainability index, that was assessed by a mix of ecological, social, and economic criteria with 22 indicators, and referring to the UN principles for sustainable development. The sub-areas of this assessment were economical, where Heidelberg came first, ecological, where Ingolstadt was best, and social, where Jena in the east was on top. So this is just the overview of the current sustainable cities in Germany. With the map of Germany, if you want to check this later, I'm giving links, yeah, also online, yeah, by IW Consult. You can see the map and different regions where developing things, taking place, and positive developments and also stagnations also. Yeah, so Heidelberg you can see in the southwest of Germany also. Yeah. So the most sustainable cities this year. Coming to the Sustainable Development Goals, what has been talked before, I wanted to also mention in my presentation. So Sustainable Development Goal number 11, make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. And the indicators for that, I'm listing here. It's rent prices, living space, basic supply close to home like supermarket, the car density and road traffic casualties, the use of land and land use intensity, local recreation areas, and the completed residential buildings with renewable heating energy as indicators for that. Examples of relevant sub-goals would be to ensure access to appropriate, safe, and affordable housing and fitting primary care, providing access to sustainable traffic systems, improving road safety, enhancing sustainable settlement planning, improve disaster control, very important topic. Also in Germany in the recent years, we had some natural disasters and like floods, etc. Reduce environmental impact and ensure access to green spaces and foster economic, ecological, and social connections between pre-urban and rural areas. So, overview, Sustainable Development Goals. And German municipalities. There's a project called SDG Indicators for Municipalities, with the objective to identify sustainable indicators to map the SDG implementation at municipality level in Germany and provide corresponding data. That was published in November 2022. There is a portal also, and you can discover SDG indicators for the municipalities. And you can also compare two municipalities in development. For example, like the most sustainable city in Germany with another city for all these different points. And data from all countries and municipalities available with more than 5,000 inhabitants. Some very good examples given would be the area of Lippe in Germany and the city of Freiburg in the south. So very detailed descriptions of these two, for example. You can find everything online. So, Sustainable Development Goals, like in Germany, by OECD, measuring distance to the Sustainable Development Goal targets in Germany, 2022. Germany has already achieved 25 of 130 targets for which the comparable data are available and expected to meet 12 additional targets. But the data availability remains a challenge. And the coverage is uneven across the 17 goals. So 10 goals, which written here mostly within people, planet, prosperity categories, have most of the targets covered, but coverage is lower for goal 11 on cities, with only half of its targets covered. I'm giving some examples for housing, no progress or moving away from the target. Urbanization progress has been made, but is insufficient to meet the target. Not enough being done. Environmental impact of cities target is achieved or is on track to being achieved. Yeah, so not all the data is there. One has to know about this. Then I'm giving some information on the smart cities in Germany by the digital association Bitkom. We had the data from 2022 in the last event. Yeah, so end of this year, we have new data available for the smartest cities. Munich, the third largest city in Germany, reaches first for the first time. Hamburg, the second largest city in Germany, is second place for the first time after 4 years. And Cologne, the fourth largest city, makes it to third place. Ulm is in the top 10 for the first time. Trier, the very old city, Roman city, you can say, is ranked 13, but it secures the top spot in energy and environmental category. So smart cities, and of course, smart cities, there are many factors involved, like IT, communication, education, energy, mobility. Yeah. So many factors come in to say, okay, this is the smartest city. I wanted to give more information on AI for sustainable development. And as an overview, there's a white paper by Plattform Lernende Systeme and their working group on business model innovation called With Artificial Intelligence to Sustainable Business Model from February 2022. And it's on investigations of the significance of AI technologies for sustainable business models. So business model innovation and making them more sustainable, and potential of AI-based business process optimization for greater sustainability along 3 dimensions. Sustainability of AI, through AI, and with AI. Dimensions for positive impact potentials of AI for more sustainability, making better use of the existing, material savings, energy savings, improved working conditions, efficiency increase, quality improvement, decision support, improved information processing, and time savings. Of course, to say it very strongly, at the same time, it must be considered that the use of AI solutions is not per se economically, ecologically, and socially sustainable. If we think of the use of servers and consumptions and so on, yeah, but it can really be a very important tool to make processes and etc. more sustainable. And in one important event in Germany, the Smart Country Convention, there were many talks on AI and how this is being used already. And this I will mention also in the links later on. Solutions for more resource-efficient AI technologies would be the sufficiency principle, hardware efficiency, extending life cycles and circular value chains, creating, of course, sustainable awareness, energy-efficient infrastructure, switching to renewable energy, intelligent recycling of waste heat, then like reinvestment of safe resources in sustainable processes, its efficiency instead of expansion, reduction of the absolute energy and resource consumption, sustainability by design, federated learning and reuse of model calculations. And one publication I also wanted to mention to go more into the subject, yeah, by and by, shaping sustainable change with AI, on the strategic link between AI and sustainability goals, what we're talking about, the potential of AI for sustainable change, like examples, resource conservation, efficiency gains, emissions reduction. And the technologies can significantly support science, business, and society in acting ecologically, socially just, and economically successful also. Central impact potentials for sustainable change include AI-based monitoring, AI-based predictions, AI-based recommendations, AI-assisted precision and control processes. And further, exemplary AI applications and potentials in science, economy, and society to be assigned to different sustainability dimensions. There's a compass for the sustainable use of AI in companies. This is all like an introduction, but now coming to Sustainable Development Goal 11 also, integrated AI and sustainability strategies, linking AI technologies and sustainability management in businesses. In this context, consumption or consumer, emissions due to building and living, mobility and food, so that touches upon the goals 11, 2, and 12, disposal, recycling, strengthening circular economy, and making use of the right use of material use, collection and sorting, recycling of products, data, model calculations. Yeah? So this is just giving like an introduction or overview what AI can do for the good in many ways and dimensions. And also wanted to both give a review and like introduction to events this year and next year on our topic. So the mentioned Smart Country Convention in Berlin, there's a lot of material, videos on YouTube and so available, and it's really worth checking it. Like different regions are working on it in Germany. Also how to use technology and AI, the right use of it, with examples and so on, like administration and cities, how they're doing it. Same for the mentioned German Sustainability Award, that a lot of the material, it's worth taking a look at. And of course, the COP28 recent mega event from November to 12th of December, where also Germany was giving some impact on afterwards. Yeah. How about events in 2022, 4? Yeah, so in the first and second quarter. So I would like to recommend also one organization called Women in AI and Robotics. They will have meetings in Hamburg, Berlin, and Munich from January to March 2024, a community and regular other meetings and meetups. Yeah, and there will be further events like talks and workshops on security and etc. So if you want to learn more on AI and robotics or technology generally, also they have many videos, material online on the right use of sustainability, AI, yeah, and like experts and speakers, there are many partners in academia, yeah, and research institutes. So it's really worth looking at it, yeah. And another major event would be IPSC conference, interdisciplinary perspectives on smart cities in Germany, with renowned research institutes like Deutsches Forschungszentrum für Künstliche Intelligenz, the German Research Center for Artificial Intelligence, the Fraunhofer, and Kaiserslautern Digital. And that's going to be on June 13th and 14th next year. And in Hamburg, you can say my city, Hamburg Sustainability Conference taking place in June next year also. Yeah. And last but not least, not the very least and not last at all, would be that G100 Global Networking Germany is planning also some events, and the first shall take place like beginning of the year, maybe in February, and we're working on that. And one focus would be sustainable companies. Thank you very much. And I'm sharing also some links on that. You mentioned Akatech, National Academy of Science and Engineering in Germany, with several publications on the topic. It's Bitkom, where you had the research on smart cities, KI Bundesverband, the German Association for AI, with important publication on climate and sustainability from February 2021. It's by OECD, like this information measuring the distance to the SDG targets in Germany from 2022, and the platform Lernensysteme. It's Germany's platform for AI, with many publications and white papers. I think to go into that subject further, how artificial intelligence can be of use in a positive way for sustainability generally, and like sustainable cities. Happy to share this information, and happy also to get connected via mail through LinkedIn. I'm very active there and looking forward to interacting and taking discussions further. Thank you so much. And happy to answer questions if there are some in the panel. Just what I've said before, that the immense scope between cities within Europe and India, no? So a lot can be done, no? And taking further. With all the information we now have.
Very. Your talk has been very interesting, very insightful, and lot of inputs on
Thank
this
you very much. Yeah.
subject. Yeah.
Now with these two, from these two continents, no? So what we have, yeah, we can take that further also, yeah, on the topic, yeah. And I'm sure there will be another event where we'll take things forward. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful. Any comments from your side? Yeah.
Nice presentation. That's all I can say. Everything explained in great, detail.
Germany. The next step is Europe.
Padma is having a problem with her sound. Let's see now. Padma, if you could, yes. Try to speak now, Padma. We cannot hear you.
Thank you, Anita, for that.
No, we can hear you correctly. We need to move forward. It's always amazed me how we could manage to gathering with different countries, different realities, India, Germany, here from Spain, and we could make this knowledge exchange so wonderfully. We started with a challenge. I would like to continue with a positive message. That is in relation to an index that have been done of the best 100 sustainable cities, the better cities in the world. As you see, Oslo, Stockholm, Tokyo, Copenhagen, Berlin, London, Seattle, Paris, San Francisco, and Amsterdam among the 100. The index to see how they could be sustainable were based in three index analytes. One, it was social, the quality of life. That is something so important, that is not only to meet the measures, but also that we could be able to get to a good quality of life in terms of perception. Also in business, to have a healthy business environment. So it's also a matter of profits. Why not? An environment, that is what we always refer to, that is in terms of pollution, of clean energy, of responsible consumption. I think this is the best way to end the positive message of that we have 100 cities that are top in the world. I will give you with Padma. I will try to see if we could fix your sound. If not, Jitendra, Anita, please 1 minute or two for a wrap up, and we end this event, and we end this year of virtual events from G100 Global Networking. Jitendra, please.
Okay, I will like to urge the government to take the initiative and in collaboration with the private stakeholders actually, because I've always believed in the public private partnerships, and they should be taking the lead to implement the green infrastructure and create efficient public transportation system for that waste disposal, water conservation, and making operational the renewable sources of energy. I think if these five ingredients are taken into account, the cities will automatically become more sustainable.
We really hope so, Jitendra, that we really became citizens as influencers on the decision. Thank you so much, Jitendra. It's always a pleasure learning, and you are always there to collaborate and to add value to our events. Anita, please.
It's like it's on the people. So the initiative from the people, that's needed, yeah. And people can also be like company owners, like people in research or so. The people to people connect, yeah, to make things happen and get things moving. For the individual to be educated, to know what is happening, so we can help to some extent also, yeah. To get connected, to be informed, yeah, to take action, to be an actor, like a creator in that sense, yeah. Not only passive and saying, oh, we cannot change things, we have to wait for I don't know what, yeah. And get connected, get started, take action on the Indo-European level also, yeah. Talking about us four here, yeah. And take it further, yeah. Happy to assist there and go with the flow, yeah.
That's fantastic, Anita. We are aware, because we always say that this is a friendly conversation, that is part of our organizational culture to be friendly, to have this intimate dialogue. So we are aware and of your personal challenge at family level, and I wish you all the very best for this next year, and appreciate all the endeavors that you have done to be here today, collaborating, taking the lead, as you say. Yes, that's what we aim to do in G100 Global Networking, giving power to the citizens, or to discover the power that they already have, and they need to just put it into action. Padma, let's see if yours, thank you so much, Anita. Let's see, Padma, if your sound is better, and you could see your final remarks. We can. I'm sorry, we cannot hear you. We are sorry for that. Maybe you could send 1 minute of video of your final message. For the rest, I'm telling you, thank you so very much. Have a lovely end of the year, and we are willing to connect and for new events for next year 2022. Have a lovely time. Bye.
Bye.